Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Sulaiman Rahim, breaker of the seven seals, messenger of the covenant. Sisters and brothers, Armageddon. You need to know what Armageddon is. Some of you know. Most people don't know. All these crazy ideas about Armageddon. Don't know the scriptures. Most don't want to know the scriptures because they're not in church or wherever they are because of scriptures. They're there because of entertainment, because they're in a hard zone. Just let's make sure we get this straight. Because if they were interested in the scriptures, they would not be deceived. Because at this point in time, even without the angel, the light is so bright that you could not miss. It's like Exodus. The light is so bright you could not miss. However, people are missing. It says lack of knowledge. You have those people that have knowledge and withholding it. You have those that are blocking it. And the demons are our worst enemy. We made the devils, but the devils made the demons. We didn't make the demons, they made the demons. And they're our worst enemy because they're unseen. They look like us. They sneak up on us. They walk with us. They marry us. They have our children. They do all kinds of things unnoticed until you end up with a knife in your back because they're not your friends. And most of us take them as friends. We don't realize they're enemy because if they're not with you, they're not walking with you, they're not your friends. I don't care what you think. Oh, that was my best buddy since I was growing up. Okay, whose best buddy was who? Was you their best buddy? Or they your best buddy? See, it's a difference. See? But having a friend, who's the friend? See? Because if you walk in his path, then you're his servant friend. But if he's walking your path, then he's your servant friend. But if you're walking the same path together, then you're brothers or sisters. You understand? So if someone is not walking your path, and you have to walk their path to be friends with them, then you are friend servant. You're servant friend. Because they're not with you. They're only your friend because you walking their path. And everybody, if you people doing what you want to do, they're gonna like you, of course. Because it's not you they like, it's the fact that you are serving to them. You're doing what they want you to do. It's not they like you, because if you stand up and suddenly show a change or a different attitude, then they don't want to be out with you anymore. They get angry with you. That shows you right there. They wasn't with you. You better start understanding, brothers and sisters. You better start getting stuff on your mental zone. If they're not walking with you, they're not your friend. If you have to walk with them to be friends, then you're a slave friend. See? And they're only friends with you because you're walking the path they want you to walk. You're doing what they want you to do. You're in submission to them. Don't you understand that, brothers and sisters? I mean, how clear do I have to make it for you? We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. See, we're going to touch on that subject a little bit more later on. Because your lack of knowledge and your misunderstanding of mathematics and pressure, that's going to be your downfall. It's like you driving 100 miles an hour down the highway texting because you ain't paying full attention. You're going to run into something. And that's what it is because you need to you need full attention. You need to know who your enemies are. If they're not walking the same path you walking willingly, they are not your friends. I don't care what you think. I don't care how long you've been knowing them. They're nice. They're nice to you because you go along with their path. You go along with their BS. And you can't get breakaway, right? Because why? Because you're in the hot zone. It's all about emotions with you. See? Because if you're still in the hot zone, you're not going to make it to the hereafter. You ain't going to make it. Because the magnetism is just too great. The gravitational force gravitational force of the vortex is just too great for you. You're not going to make it because you got to break all ties, and we're going to talk about that. Right now, we're talking about Armageddon. See? And so I've been defining to you, first of all, I told you when Armageddon starts. It starts, the water breaks for the nation, our nation be born, when Master Muhammad goes to war in the Middle East. What could be any day now. It's all up to him now. There's nothing standing in the way prophetically that I know about. Once he does that in America, Magog and Magog are thrown out of the Middle East. That triggers Armageddon. And that's what we're going to look at here in a minute. Here. Do not think I came to bring peace on the earth. Remember, the earth, those of you angel warriors, angel knowledge of angel, know the earth represents the European countries. So he didn't come to bring peace on the earth. I did not come to bring peace but a sword. I came to turn a son against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a person's enemy would be the members of his household. Now let's unpack that. Let's unpack that. I'm going to talk about a little bit on this side, then we're going to go to a larger picture. You have to understand the angel to unpack that. Because America represents the mother. Russia represents the daughter. I'm using the old Soviet flag because most people are familiar with that. Not familiar with the new Russian flag. The father represents Britain. And the son represents the EU. Right? European countries. Western Europe, mostly that make up NATO, mostly primarily. And the daughter-in-law, because the daughter-in-law, right, has to be the wife of the son. You know what I'm saying? So this was the daughter-in-law. That's the daughter. This is the daughter-in-law. She has to be wife to the son. And this is the demons, the Christian black demons right here. That's the daughter-in-law. So then when you unpack this, it says, I'm going to turn a son against his father. It means Western Europe against Britain, and a daughter against her mother. That's America against Russia, right? And a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law, the daughter-in-law against the, because that would be her mother-in-law against her mother-in-law. I mean, America against the demons, Christian demons. That's what it's saying. And then let's look at this next one real carefully. And a person's enemies will be the members of his household. Okay. So in other words, America and Britain, but specifically America, right? Okay. Who's the members of his household? The demons, right here. Okay. We go to the next, two larger. Okay. That's what it means. So I've been telling you, right? If we can move things around here a little bit. I've been telling you for years that NATO, the European countries, are going to fight against America because they're going to fight against their father, which is Britain. If they're fighting against Britain, they're going to be fighting against America because Gog and Magog go together. They're a pair. So that's one way of knowing it right there. And now you see the divisions in NATO. I told you they're going to be betrayed. That's what it says. We already see signs of this because I told you years ago there was going to be this break, and then they came with Brexit. Remember Brexit, where Britain broke away from Western Europe, broke away from out of it. That organization already split. So that's the way. That's Armageddon. They don't Armageddon here. So you have Armageddon, America against Russia. We already see this opening up. They talking about war with Russia any day now. It's not going to happen until the war in the Middle East. See? And then, right? And then you're going to see, and when they go to war, they're going to expect Eastern Europe to be with them, but they're going to betray them. Because they've said the son's fighting against the father. Remember, America and Gog and Magog, they're united. So if you're fighting against one, you're fighting against the other. So if the son is fighting against the father, he's also fighting against the mother. That's how you know they're going to betray him. In other words, now America's at war. America's at war, Armageddon, in Europe, and it's fighting Russia, and it's betrayed by Eastern Europe, so now it's fighting both. At the same time, Eastern Europe has a total economic collapse. That's part of the reason why it's going to betray America, because it's totally dependent upon oil from Russia. They can't survive without oil from Russia because they just got defeated in the Middle East, and Iran that also supplies Western Europe with oil. It's cut that spigot off because they was back in America in that war. So now they're not receiving any oil from Middle East, from Iran, because they got control of all the oil there now. So they're not receiving any oil there. And they're not receiving anything from America. The only supplier is Russia. And we see right now, they're having problems right now because Germany don't want to cooperate with NATO because they need that oil from Russia. So it tells you to read chapter 18 very carefully. They're going to be total economic collapse because they won't have any oil coming from any place. So they have no choice but to ally with Russia, because Russia is the only one that will be able to supply them with any oil. They can't even have a war right without any oil. So-called NATO is going to turn on America. So now America's out there fighting for his life, and his friends are turned against him. It says a man's enemies would be of his own household. That's another way of looking at that. It's Armageddon. Can make our fighting for their life, betrayed. Okay? At the same time, the demons are going crazy here in America. I'm going to talk about that in more in another presentation. I haven't went into a lot of detail about that. But the thing is that once the abomination of desolation takes place, the citizens are going to turn against black folks. It's not talking about the army, the government. It's the citizens. That's why they got to flee. But the government got a different approach. They need them to fight this war because now they're in trouble. They're losing to Russia. Now they got that Eastern Europe, Western Europe betrayed them. They're fighting on their side. See? They're getting their ass kicked over there, big time. And they need food. The government, while the citizens are trying to kill you, the government is going to try to get you in to come in and fight. They're going to draft as many they can draft as much as that situation still exists because everything's broken down. But they're going to try to entice you, mostly the demons, all blacks anyway, entice you to come in, and that's what they're talking about, throw you into the river. 200 million man army. Entice you to come in. They're going to make all kinds of promises. Oh, we're going to give you reparations. Oh, we're going to do all this for you. Once this war's over, we're going to give you 6 states. We're going to get everything. They're going to make all kinds of flamboyant promises. They're going to promise you the world. What you got to do is come help us fight this war. And it says a lot of demons are going to see. Because remember, I told you, once we're all together, they're going to try to negotiate with Master. Say, Master, come on. See? Because remember, we all come together because the citizens are attacking us. I didn't say the government was attacking. I said the citizens were doing this because they can come and cut your throat. The government, right, they have a different approach. They're trying to entice you to come and fight in this war. If they make any kind of promise, because they're losing their ass off. There's 17 million demons out there. Right? And so if you round out to 16, that means about 8 million of them are males. And maybe about 4 million of them are military age. And they want all of them to come and fight this war. They need everybody they can. They're going to make all these promises. And some of our people, Abraham covenant people, some of them going to be deceived by that also. We're going to make, because see, they still think they don't have any options. but they still are not sold on the Abrahamic covenant. They still want to make the best out of America, and if now America's finally going to give them everything they want, they're going to go along with that too. So you get a lot, male and female. They're going to run into there and help fight this war. It doesn't matter what the devil deceiving them, whatever, because they're not going to win the war, and those people are going to die. When they're going to their deaths. They're going to send them over to Europe, and they're going to be wiped out. Because America be losing their ass off. That's Armageddon. I mean, they're really fighting. They're not playing. They make World War II look like it was a picnic. They will not be playing over there. It's about the best lose. You see people saying right now, man, if they go to war with Russia, man, it might be the end of the world. I mean, see people starting to say that because they know. What are you talking about? You crazy? You want to open that box? At any rate, that's the deal. And so a lot of demons going to buy into that. Probably half of them going to buy into that, and they're going to go in. Because now they're going to get everything Master wants. Now, other half of demons, they're going to say, hell with that. They ain't going to buy it. Them the ones that be rioting and tearing up everything. But they're going to say, no, give it to us now. If you're going to do all this stuff, give it to us now. Give us the stage and all that stuff now, and then we'll go fighting. They're going to demand they want it right now. They don't want no promises. They don't want nothing, all that kind of stuff. Get all this stuff. You'll give us reparations. You'll give us all that. Give it to us now. And then we'll go and perhaps we'll go fight for you. So they ain't buying it. They didn't want to be tearing this country apart. The other ones want to have death thrown into the river. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I want you to understand this war we're talking about. Because you going in clearly, you going in 2020 vision. These people don't even know it's coming. They're blind without even a cane, without even a guard dog, anything. They're just totally blind, crippled, and crazy. They totally wasted. That's Farrakhan, all these people. They have no idea what's going on, none whatsoever. But they're our worst enemy because it was made by the devils to come in and do their damage, and they've done it. They have done their damage. You can't recognize them. It took Suleiman to come and even identify him because you didn't even know you was beset by demons until Suleiman came and told you. And most of that people still don't know. They don't know those people are demons. They think they're their friends. Someone said, well, they're skin folk, but they ain't kin folk. I mean, they know that, but they still can't. They can't even, they said, well, but they pick certain people that people they don't agree with, but they don't know the wholesale thing about it, who's really the demons. They're all over the place. They're on TV. Them the ones on TV, the star, all that kind of stuff. They're the ones that's demons. But they don't know that. People don't know. So if you can't recognize them, yet they're the enemy and they're in there that's tearing you apart, that's the way cancer works. Because cancer disguises itself as a normal cell, so the antibodies can't recognize it. So it goes around destroying all the other cells. They are cancer to our people. They are cancer to our nation. That's exactly how cancer works. Look it up. It disguises itself as a normal cell. That's why they can't get rid of it. Because the antibodies think it's a normal cell. It disguises itself while it goes around corrupting the rest of the cells. And that's what happened. Demons got into the womb and they wreaking havoc. The world is overrun by devils and demons demons are the worst. And in America, we're not only dealing with black demons, we're dealing with yellow demons and brown demons and demons of all stripes. You can't trust anybody. It could be your spouse, a relative. They could be right in your family, your friend. See? That's why it says, if you're with me or against me, they're trying to get all kinds of ways that so you can not be deceived by demons, because most of you are still deceived by demons because, oh, I've been knowing them all my life and all this kind of stuff. Okay. So you're a friend slave. You just can't recognize, you just can't break free. So you're going to hold on to them, and you're going to end up in destruction and hell with them. Now, what you feel about that one? But anyway, this is what you show you who's going to be fighting who. America's going to be in deep trouble. And that's why it says there'll be a power shift from the European countries to the Asian countries, because they're tearing themselves apart. The Navy is being destroyed. Because remember, they're fighting Russia. The navies are fighting each other. So that means they're wiping out their ships, right? They're wiping out their soldiers, right? They're wiping out their tanks, all their military equipment, their planes. They're in full-fledged war. In the meantime, China and India settle back. Their planes ain't being destroyed. Their battleships are not being destroyed. Their aircraft carriers are not being destroyed. Their planes and missiles are not being destroyed. They're sitting back and their warehouse is full. See? The Europeans are tearing themselves apart until they're weak. They're so weak. Now the Asians are the most powerful nations on the planet. They're full of revenge. So those people, like especially the Chinese, they forgot what America did to them. See? That's the Oriental way. Oh, hustle, yeah. Once they see they're down, they oh yeah, okay, hustle, right? See? When they bid their time until they got their foot on your neck, and then you feel a crushing pain of all that you did to them. Because they don't forgive a damn thing. They don't forgive shit. They don't forget. They just make you think they forgot. You think the Japanese forgot that they dropped 2 atomic bombs on them? The Japanese are going to be with the Chinese. That's another betrayal. They're not going to help. They're not going to fight on America's side. Think about it. Here, America, the goat comes across the Pacific Ocean. It's got to go past Japan. It comes across the Pacific Ocean and attacks America on the West Coast, with India right with it. Now here's China, super world power, and America's diminished because they just got their ass kicked over in Europe. They've lost most of their military equipment. They lost hundreds of thousands of their fighting men. They're crippled. Now you think Japan's going to jump in on their side against China? That's right next door. Are you crazy? They're gonna be right. They're gonna be right along with China. America's gonna be betrayed at every point in every way. By that time, Britain's already gonna be gone. They're gonna take out Britain pretty quick. It's an island nation. They're gonna take Britain out. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. But you going in this 2020 vision, people are totally blind because of the demons. And every time one of you step up 100%, if you shed more light, that's hopefully it'll make things a little brighter. So some of our people can see. They walk around in darkness now. They have some light, have a light from the angel, which is 7 times brighter than what Elijah Muhammad had. But the only one benefiting from that is 144,000. Let's look at something else. See this? I don't talk about this very much because it's kind of distressing to me too. But hey, I didn't set this up. Dr. Shabazz, some people call Abraham, he set this whole thing up. He had a purpose in mind, right? He had a goal in mind. He wanted to convert us all from angels to gods. And that's not easy. I mean, that is not easy. But he wanted to move us up because he thought it was worth the sacrifice. Because once we take control, we'll control creation from this end of creation all the way to the beginning again. For 76 trillion years, we've been in total control. It says a kingdom that will not be destroyed and never given to another people. That'd be us. That's that little stone. And that's what he wanted. But he knew it's going to be a hell of a sacrifice to achieve that. And said most of us would not make it. But that's what he wanted. That was his goal. Because he didn't want us to be ruled by anybody. He wanted us to be in total control. Because we're the ones that made this creation. We took 76 trillion years. We was putting all that out there, stars and planets, all that stuff is habitable. It's ours. We're going to make sure we get it or take it all back and we control it. We're the gods, not the angels anymore, that control it for the next 76 trillion years. And he says a 50,000 year sacrifice is worth it. And everybody didn't agree because most of us really didn't understand how significant that sacrifice would be. He knew. And this is troubling for me because, from just just from a basic, how would you say it? Just from a fairness type of thing, right? Because fair is not a mathematical term. It's more of an emotional term. Understand? Because you might say, well, would they just write that all at our angels? What was fair about that? See, but it was mathematics. Mathematics is cold. It's not fair. Mathematics does not care about your feelings. There's no feelings in mathematics. It's the hard stuff. It's totally cold. 2 + 3 is 5, period. It's cold. Mathematics is cold. It's cold. And that's why, because, like from a fairness point of view, we already went through 50,000 years of this and 5,000 years of this devil to the worst treatment that you could ever imagine. And now we come out of it and you figure, ain't that enough? Now we go to the promised land. And I've been teaching that basically for years because that's basically, it's not untrue. It's just not all of us at that point is going to make it. Barely 144,000. But you say, well, we already paid the price. No, because the process is not, it's like you put gold into the furnace. See? The gold say, man, hell, I've been here a long time. It's hot. No, you got to stand into all the impurities are gone. You got to stand all the impurities are gone. And that's my job to certify that. And I'm not going to step against that. That's the job given to me to certify. It says in the Lamb's Book of Life. I'm not going to go against the science. I'm not going against the mathematics. I'm not going to be a hot throw, right? So, oh man, I feel sorry. No, I can't do that. See? I guess part of the reason why I was chosen, right, to do this job, because I could do it, because most people would not be able to do it. They get soft-hearted and everything else. Says, man, you should take them off. No, it has to be. That's why it says he was a refiner, a purifier. He had to certify you as being 100% pure gold and 100% pure silver, period. See? Because when we go back, it's not going to be any more bullshit. It's going to be total heaven, peace, and joy, and mathematics from now on. And we're not having any impurities in there. That's going, because when you put impurities in there, impurities grow. And they usually grow faster than pure. Stuff that's impure, like disease and mold and stuff, it goes faster than healthy stuff. The next thing you know, we'll be all corrupt again. So this is verse. I always hit. The one who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. The one who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. The one who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. The one who has found life, the one who has found his life will lose it. In other words, if you think you found a way here in America and you invest in America, you're going to lose your life. And the one that's lost his life on my account will find it. That means if you gave up everything for this message, then you will have your life. And that's the 144. That's what's telling you. That's a hard one. After 50,000 years and millions and millions and millions and countless millions of us was wiped out in the process. And 500 years of total hell where millions of us was destroyed, literally destroyed over almost 500 years. I mean, not just killed, but destroyed. I mean, they destroyed us. And now we're at the end. And there's only 144,000 after all, and there's 17 million of us left. And then out of that, only 444,000 will be selected. Now it says there's a sense of, there's a tolerance. That's a tribulation period. That's the only tolerance you get, brothers and sisters. And you have to take and make up ground in there. See? But that's just like putting the gold in the furnace just a little longer. Oh, it got a couple of impurities in it, right? So you put a little longer to burn, but you have to burn up all those impurities. That's what the tribulation is. You're gonna burn the rest of those impurities, because if you still have some, you're not getting in. You're not getting in if you got any impurities whatsoever. That's what the tribulation, that's why it's so hot in the tribulation. It's hotter than anything else. Turn the furnace up. But you still got some impurities, so turn it up. Put that gold and silver back in there. But silver takes a higher temperature anyway. It'll purify silver. So there you are in there with the silver, with the Levites. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. See? Let me try to make it clear for you. So, the excuses and all that kind of stuff is not going to matter. We're telling you what you need to do to qualify. What you want me to do? I'm telling you what you need to do to qualify. The excuses is not going to qualify you. This is what you need to qualify. So either you do it or you don't. Period. My job is to certify. That's our job. The Lamb has the hardest job in the world, because he's the one who has to certify. He's the one who has to make that final decision whether you go or you don't go. And it'll be a mathematical decision. It won't be a hard decision. It'll be a mind-blowing decision. That means he has to be mind. Because if it's a hard decision, that means impurities will get in there. And then down the line, we'll be at war with demons again. Because they've been snuck in. It was a hard, cold decision. Only someone in the mental zone could make it. You have to be totally mental zone. But if you're in the hard zone, it's hard to make that kind of decision. It's just like the story about Noah's Ark, right? When they closed the door on Noah's Ark, remember all the people that was out there, there was babies and children, and maybe the answer, they never did anything, they could all drown. But they closed that door anyway. They didn't say, oh man, look at those babies and stuff out there. Because that's mathematics, brothers and sisters. You want to think this philosophy stuff, oh God, he's love, he cares about every little body and all this stuff and everything. You want to do that philosophy stuff? Go ahead. We deal with mathematics. And mathematics is cold, but true and powerful. This whole universe is based on it. It's not based on philosophy. You won't find it anywhere. I'm going to say a couple of more things, brothers and sisters, then we'll move on. Because I made my main points. I just want to cover a couple of things. I said about these demons. The Farrakhan is the main demon. About the Nation of Islam. It's not even a nation, so why he called it the Nation of Islam? He says he's not about a nation, because I called him out. Remember, for years, Nation of Islam, I'm getting money, economic program. Remember that he was doing that? And then what? Suddenly, early this year, late last year, they made a statement, well, we're not about nation building. We're about self-improvement. See, because they reacting, because I hit them hard. See? Because if you're about a nation, how come you're not building a nation? Where is it at? How come you're not preparing for the 6 days? See, they're paying attention. And they respond because people are saying, hey, he says this. What's your answer? You may not think it's happening, but it's happening because they're about to have a so-called coup that's happening there. Because it says they're going to be the ones that take him down. Because as soon as the war breaks out, it's over. Because he missed COVID, he's not supposed to miss that one. And they know I've been talking about it. And they see it happening exactly like I said. That's enough convincing for them. Boom, he's out. All right. See, there's no nation of Islam there. He's not building a nation. He says he's about self-improvement. That's our Scientology and everything, because he's trying to cover his ass. He's trying to because he's in trouble with his masters, right? His handlers, because they were supposed to take him out. I'm not supposed to exist. I'm not supposed to exist. They snuffed everything out. I explained to you earlier about chapter 12. See, with Suleiman comes Elijah. That's the child that they gave birth to. That's the child that Master from Muhammad gave birth to, that David gave birth to, Solomon or Suleiman. So it says that she gave birth, and the dragon was there to consume the child as soon as it was born. I mean, Sunnism. So he came to Elijah in 1970. He was with him 4 years. That's the child that was born, right? And then he departed. And as soon as he departed, right, then the falling away, right? Exactly, the falling away. Then said the dragon, right, would try to soon the child as soon was born. So over here, Suleiman, he's the only one got the light because Elijah passed the light on to him. Because he came was baptized light. He got the light from him. So now he's carrying the light. And then as soon as he departed, the dragon comes in with Sunnism. Wallace and Farrakhan came in trying to get him with Sunnism, but they weren't able to do it. He was snatched away from them because they tried. They tried. I mean, I didn't go in there. I didn't go to one of their Sunni meetings. I didn't go to one of their do masjids. I didn't go to one of that stuff. None of it. Everybody else was doing it. I didn't. I knew what was going on. But they came after. That's what the dragon came after and devour him as soon as he was born. But he was snatched away. They couldn't get him. They tried to get me with their Sunnis. I'm not supposed to exist. Okay. Kind of demons were supposed to have taken care of that. They didn't. Those handlers are kind of pissed off with him. And who knows how that might lead? They may expose him themselves. They don't really. I mean, he's not really. See, when they don't need you anymore, they just kick you to the side like a 2-bit whore. So they don't really need him anymore because if he got 2 feet in the grave, they tell you the man was going to be dead by next year. They tell you this is the last public engagement. If he even makes it to so-called Savior's Day, he says this is the last public engagement. That means he won't be talking to anybody anymore in the public. Nobody will see him in public anymore. Why are they telling you that? Because the man got 2 feet in the grave. He probably won't even make this so-called Savior's Day, but he will make it because he's not gonna die before we get our hands on him. But they don't expect him. He might even make it to there, as far as they're concerned. The man's in the casket now. He can't walk. He's in a wheelchair. I told you this a long time ago. Most of you didn't believe me. Do you believe me now? They're telling you the man is dead. For all practical purposes, he did. They're telling you this is the last public appearance. That's even if you make this one, that'd be it. They tell you he's gone. What does that mean? Or it has all kinds of implications, but it doesn't matter because things not going on like they think they're going on because we're going to be in the bomb. We're going to be in Armageddon at that time. I hope I explain things right because they're going to grab a lot of you. We don't care. They can take all the demons they want. But somehow people are going to fall for it because they still think they have no choice. So if you have no choice, that means America's promised you all this stuff. You get reparations. I'm going to get $1 million. So you're going to go for it. And you're going to have your ass over there and get your ass blown off over there in Russia and whatever. Fighting for America in a losing war, which is the beginning of their troubles. But that's Armageddon. That kicks off Armageddon. And once they get their ass kicked over there for sufficiently, while they're getting their ass kicked over there, that's when China and India make their move on them. That's why it says it's a terrible time, a time of unprecedented trouble. The American citizens are going to be starving and carrying on. They're not going to send all the black folks. Some black folks, they still got to keep their military industry going, trying to produce tanks and all that kind of stuff for the battle. So they're going to have some doing that kind of stuff over here. But the point is America's through. America's true. And some of the signs are, I try to explain to you, the law is what defines the country. The law is what defines the country. And law enforcement is like the beams, like the pillars that keep the structure, that maintains the structure of the country. They're law enforcement. The law is structure. You know, the beams and the pillars and all that stuff, right? Anybody that knows construction, I'm talking about, that's the things that, that maintains the structure. You have a house, you have a foundation, but you need things to give it structure and maintain that structure, pillars and things like that, right? That's what law enforcement does, because they enforce the law. But without the law, the whole thing collapses, because that's the law is what defines the nation. And so it's two things that's being attacked in America right now: the foundation and law enforcement. The foundation and law enforcement. See? Because when Master Muhammad pulls the plug on false Israel, that's going to pull the foundation of this whole reality. The whole reality is based on that lie. Okay? But the structure is under attack. That shows you they fund the police. They're shooting them left and right. They don't even care about them anymore. Nobody fears the police anymore, because they're telling you the country is about to collapse. He's about to pull the foundation out, and the structure is under attack. And they're not backing down. It's getting worse every day. That's another sign right there. This whole thing is about to fall in on itself. And there's many more, but I just say the basic ones. That's Armageddon, brothers and sisters. Prepare for it. I'm trying to prepare you. You're still in the womb. I'm trying to prepare you for your exit out of the womb, what the world is going to be like, because you need to be prepared for how the world is going to be like when you come out. Otherwise, you'll be stillborn. They're going to have to put you in an incubator, need more time to develop. More time. Armageddon. I'm making it clear enough for you, brothers and sisters. I'm making it clear enough for you. I said I'll make it clearer and clearer and clearer. Now, I mean, if we make this the so-called Savior's Day, I mean, I'd be surprised if we do make it. What is Silas and Farrakhan going to be talking about? Because they have no clue about what's going on right now. That's right there should tell you something, because they can't tell you. They don't even talk about these type of things. And I'm going to excruciating detail. They can't even tell you the general stuff. They can't even tell you that Russia's going to war with America. They can't even tell you that. They can't tell you that China's going to war with America. And you get that on CNN. They can't even tell you that. They can't tell you about the war in the Middle East, Iran, and they can't tell you that. And they sure can't tell you that's going to be victorious. They sure can't tell you that Australia's going down. See, they can't tell you any of this stuff. And still, I'm telling you, it goes in excruciating detail. They can't even tell you in a general sense, watch the weather. That's what you get a Farrakhan Silas. I don't know, he gets a bunch of tears. He's a very tearful person. So what do they have to offer for confusion? The blind leading the blind, and both fall into a ditch. So hey, those that keep hanging with them, like I said, the ones that's hanging with them, either demons or they're in the hot zone. Because he's playing their music, Elijah's music, but he's not getting Elijah's lyrics. GT, Mrs. Black Man, I Hate to Live, All America. This, it's the music. What's the lyrics? Right? Scientology, philosophy, Judaism. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think I'm pretty much going to leave it there. Did I miss anything? I did say the demons are our worst enemy. That's why Suleiman has to take them out first. They're a cancer to our nation. We didn't make them, the devils made them, and they're the powerful enemy. It says Suleiman, remember, it says Solomon, he had power over the demons. He was the only one who could do it. But you didn't know what a demon was before I came and told you. You didn't know anybody was. You didn't know who the dragon was. You didn't know the jinn, Antichrist. Oh, let me talk about the Antichrist for a minute. Yeah, that's a good one. Then I'm going to let it go. You see, this thing about the 666, that shows you how dumb this stuff is, how much bullshit's out there. Because that's the easy one. It's 2 plus 2 stuff. We don't have to go into all the detail, but just in general, there's 3 of them. There's the image of the beast that was wounded by the sword, image of the beast that was wounded by death, right? But his wound was healed. And then there's the image of the beast. There's the beast that was the image of the beast of the sword. That was wounded by the sword. There's 3 of them. Now it tells you their dependency. Because you got this one beast here. He's an image of another beast, but he's also dependent upon the other beast for wealth, finance, political support, military support, whatever. So he's dependent on one while he's the image of the other. So remember, you got 3 of them now. One is dependent. Maybe I'll just go. Maybe this will help. I intend to use it that way. These are the 3 beasts right here. See here, mother, of Israel, and father. It says this beast was wounded by death. We know death represents Oriental countries. Now, this period of time, right, is during the 40s, during World War II, around that period of time. So America was wounded by Japan, death, but its wound was healed. But Britain was wounded by the sword, which represents Asia, represents India, because that was their main colony. And they was wounded by that. In other words, they lost India and that because they was in World War II, Britain was the most powerful empire. Not America, Britain. The sun never set on Britain. See? So you had 2 empires coming out of the Dark Ages. Britain was, like I said, about the 2 horns on the ram. It said the one that came up last was the greater one. The first one was Britain. It was the power, the world power. See? And they lost America, lost all their colonies, but the main colony they had was still India. When they lost India, that was the end of the empire. Then that America rose up after World War II, became the great empire. You understand? That's what happened. So that's the one that was wounded by the sword, but that one was not healed. That's the 2 beasts right there. Now we find false Israel. It's the image of Britain. It's the image of the beast that was wounded by the sword. Because if you look at the government that is so-called false Israel, the government is an image, a carbon copy, identical copy of the British government. They use the British model. That means they're the image of that one. But they depend on America for political support, military support, financial support, everything. That's what it says. And they will receive all that from the other beast, the beast that was wounded by death. There's the 3 right there. But you don't have to go that deep. You don't have to go that deep. Because it says, what was the power of this beast? That's what the 666 is all about. You don't have to they get you all into the weeds and stuff. Understand? All that political confusion that you can't see the forest for the trees. They keep you confused. Because if you look at it from a general level, then it makes sense. Because it tells you the power that this beast has was the power to stop you from buying or selling. He will stop you from buying or selling unless you had his mark, unless you did what he told you to do. You had to buy or sell, and if you didn't do what he told you to do, you could not buy or sell, or if you did not worship the image of the beast, you would not buy or sell anything. If you can't buy or sell, what is that? It says this beast had the power to do that. They call that, they say this is the Antichrist. America is not the Antichrist. But it said this beast had the power to do that. Now, what is, if you can't buy or sell? That's sanctions. It's who's the only people on the country on the planet that does that. America. They're the ones put sanctions on anybody that don't do what they tell them to do. And if you against false Israel, they put sanctions on you. It said they not only put sanctions, they will kill you. They not only put sanctions on you, stop your buying something, they will kill you. And that's exactly what's happened. So you don't have to go in here and try to figure out and get you some slide rule and everything. Say, I'm gonna try to figure 666. There it is right there. They don't marketing, special marketing to put on you. Most of you got it already. If you worship false Israel, if you first saw false Israel, you already got the mark. It's not a physical mark. It's a mark in your mind. If you deceive by false Israel, you already got the mark in your mind. If you got the mark in your mind, you dead. It tells you that. You got that mark in your mind, you through. If you worship false Israel, because false Israel is about to go down. So there's your 666 right there, brothers and sisters. This is not complicated. See? What an Antichrist. See? I don't know if I'm going to get an Antichrist. Because, it's really simple, but it could be very complicated if you try to explain it. But if you have a Christ, you have the Antichrist. It tells you that the Christ, when he was conceived, a star would rise in the east. That means he'd be in the west. See? So, when did the star rise in the east? False Israel. That's the star that rose in the east, 1948. So it says the Christ, he conceived in 1948 too. And when you check the both, find out who Suleiman is, it's easy. They made it very clear. They made the credentials so clear you could not err. So you could not be fooled, deceived by anybody. Because there was no star that rose up when Farrakhan came along. You'll be the same age as false Israel. Is that a coincidence? Did I go back in the womb and say, hey, no, you got to change my conception date? Is that a coincidence? I wasn't even aware of being alive at that point in time. And then it says, we had to break the 7 seals. You know anybody who broke the 7 seals? If you say, I haven't broke it, then show me who has. You don't know nobody who has. You know they haven't. No one would claim with proof to have done it. And there's other things. Okay. Been a follower of Elijah Muhammad coming to his temple. There's many things. Because when you go and check the history of Suleiman, you see he touched all. The suit fits him tailor-made. The suit fits him tailor-made. You try to put the Farrakhan called stuff the anointed, the son of man, all the stuff he's claiming he is right now. But the suit just not fit. You have to do some severe alterations and you still can't get the damn suit to fit him. The only suit that fits him is Aaron, the deceiver, the liar, the son of perdition. His father's a demon. His father's a devil, which makes him a demon. The suit fits him 100%. See, if you understand what a demon is, how can a demon be our anointed? How can a demon be our savior? See, that suit fits him 100%, but no, give me some alterations. You have to put an alteration on my suit. You don't see me putting an alteration. You don't see me twisting the scripture and everything to convince you. Because first, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. You don't see me doing that. You see me doing everything the scripture says, not that the scripture tell me what to do. The scriptures just bear witness to me. So when you look at it, you say, you said this, he did this, scripture said this, and it connect all the dots. Well, that must be Elijah Muhammad said, if you see some walking and talking the scripture, that's that person. So far, I'm walking that path 100%. 100%. Except the sign of Joe, that's another one. See, they're trying to exalt themselves to be something that they're not. And I'm downplaying myself because I'm not trying to be anything other than just messing with the covenant to get you home. I ain't trying to be your boss. I ain't trying to tell you what to do. I don't even want to do that kind of stuff. That goes against my nature. Telling you what to do, being your boss. But see, that's what they want to do. They want to tell you what to do. They want you to worship them. I don't want anybody to worship me. I mean, I'd be very offended about trying to worship me. I don't want that. See? I even have trouble having people call me master, but we have to show respect if someone masters something, because if once you master something, I got to call you master of it. So we have to, part of my job is to make sure that we get back to our righteous, normal selves, and that also encompasses, right, respect. Like if we give respect to Elijah, Master Muhammad, we give respect to Elijah Muhammad for what they did. And so that's part of our nature. So if you recognize me, you know, I've mastered the angel, so I deserve that title. Not that I'm looking to get that title. It's like education. See, these people, they go in and they get their degrees because they want a certificate. But do you want the knowledge or do you want a certificate? I went and got the knowledge. I got just as much education or more than they have. I don't have a certificate, but I don't give a damn about a certificate. I want you to get the knowledge. But they want a certificate, so now they end up 50, 60, 80,000, $100,000 in debt. They can have a certificate, and most don't never work in it anyway. I know a lot of people, they got these degrees, never work one day in it, but they got a $50,000 loan. You can read. So if you're smart enough to get a degree, you're smart enough to go to the library and teach yourself. But the teacher's teaching you from a book, ain't she? Ain't he? See? So they want credit. They want some worship. See, I got a degree. See? My name is, I got an MD behind my name. They want to rule you. They want you to worship them. That's why you got all these vipers out there, right? And time makers and stuff. They ain't coming here because they don't want to come here because that means they have to put down, they have to stop trying to control people and they have to lay that crap down, right? And then they can't be the big boy, the big shot anymore. We don't want no big shots here. We don't have any big shots in the hereafter. We're talking about God's brothers and sisters. We're not talking about angels anymore. And everybody knows me. I ain't trying to control anyone. I ain't never told anybody to do anything. I don't dictate. I don't do anything. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it now. And I sure as hell won't do it when we get home. Like I said, once we get home and we clear the land out and get the sand out the way and everything's set up and you're back home freely, you might not find me. You might not see me anymore. You might not see me. You might have to go look for me. Because that's me. I'm a hermit. That's why I was coming from walking alone. I have trouble dealing with people. Not because I don't like people. I'm just a hermit. I don't want to tell people what to do. I'm not going to do that. I resist it. I'm not going to try to convince people. You don't see me trying to convince anybody. I just tell them, they ask me, and tell them if they want to they want to get involved, that's up to them. But I'm not trying to convince anybody. I ain't trying to tell anybody what to do. I just tell them, you respect this message, because then you're going to do that if you're around me. Because it took too much to get this message. Too much people suffered, and pain and investment and everything went into getting this message to you, and you damn well going to respect it. Now, if you want to fight, you're going to get a fight there. My God's brothers and sisters. But I have to tell you what, do I don't really bother with you. I ain't got time pushing the car around. Elijah Muhammad did that, and once he stopped pushing, the car stopped. I ain't doing that. You think I'm just a show? I don't want your money. You think this is some kind of show? You think I'm just doing some fun? This kind of Facebook game or something? somehow I'm going to put you in a trap, and then once I get in the trap, I'm going to start devouring you. No, brother, and sisters, what you see, like I said, when you see me as I am. What you see is what you get, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to change. I've always been like this. Even when I was in the military, they made me a sergeant. That was a big problem because they told me to tell people to do it. I didn't want to do it. I got so much trouble. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna just give you one example. It was in Vietnam. I was like the sergeant. I had to. I was this is the third time I was over there, whatever, and I was in charge of this computer area. It was all white folks, white boys. I was a sergeant. And so, we had to do all this computer stuff and everything. At that time we using cards and stuff, not like today. And they wouldn't do it, man. They want to talk and party and stuff. We had a deadline. They had to have so much done by. I had the night shift. I had everything done by morning. And they wouldn't do anything, so I said, hell with it. I did it myself. And in the morning, everything was lined up, everything was done. And the sergeant I turned over to, they was happy. He was a senior, he was a high sergeant. I mean, I was an E5, he was E6. Everybody was happy and everything until they found out that I was doing all the work. Then they got mad. They came on night shift to see what was going on. They saw it. Hey, man, you can't be doing that. You're supposed to be telling them to do it. Because they came to see. They came on night shift to see. He said, no, you can't. I said, but they didn't want to do it, man. I ain't going to argue with them. No, but you decide you got to tell them to do it. You see? They put me in a situation where I don't want to be arguing, telling people what to do. Nobody. I just don't want to do it. I do it to my children because that's my responsibility. That's your responsibility. I mean, you have to discipline your children, right? Right? I don't want to do it. That's one reason. I mean, I didn't discipline my children as much as I should have. I'm very reluctant to do that kind of stuff. I did discipline. I mean, I wasn't, I'm crazy. I mean, you have certain responsibility because it says if you don't discipline your children, don't love them. I love my children. They will love me. I said I lost everybody because of this message. They don't talk to me anything. They probably call me names and everything else. I don't know. So I couldn't get none. So, I said, oh, okay. So what I did was the next night, we had a couple of them, took them out in the back and whooped their ass. And then they did some work. Then they found about that. Then they came and said, you can't be beating on these. I'm surprised they didn't court martial me because I wasn't beating on people. They liked me because I did a good job, right? I mean, they knew who I was. I mean, I ain't saying they liked me, but the point I did a good job. They knew where I was coming from. And plus, that kind of like fit their idea about black folks because they don't like black folks tell white folks what to do anyway. In fact, I was reluctant to do it. That kind of like fit the mold what they thought black folks should be doing. But still, no, being a sergeant, I had to do it. And I was reluctant to do it. They thought I was reluctant to do it because there was white people that had nothing to do with it. Nothing whatsoever. But that's what they probably thought. That's why they didn't court martial anything. They told me, no, you can't be whooping on them. You got to make them do it. So it was just good because my tour of duty was almost over. Just did not want to do that. I don't want to tell anybody what to do, brothers and sisters. If you're going to be a God, why don't he tell you what to do? I get information and you got to make your decision. It's up to you. You got to make your decision. Totally up to you. You have to make your decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It says, now, what they're talking about, Elijah Muhammad he said that the God was a hermit. He said that. He said for 76 trillion years, he kept himself, 76 trillion years, he kept himself hid from the public. He only manifests himself during this time because time unprecedented trouble. That's what he said. That's his teaching. He said the God was a hermit. He said he kept himself hid. So in other words, he wasn't around telling anybody to worship him, the God and that kind of stuff. He was the God, but he stayed in the background. He stayed in the background with the scientists and, certifying that their prophecies and everything was correct. But he stayed hid from the public for 76 trillion years. So he would only reveal himself in this time because time unprecedented trouble. So they need him. So he says he's a hermit. See? Because we don't have tyrants and dictators. If you want that, you'll get it. Because if you want a tyrant, you want a dictator, and you act like that, you're going to get it somewhere down the line. Like these sisters. These sisters, right? We're going to take and we're going to set you up. We're going to put you back in paradise where you're supposed to be and everything else. But you got responsibility to take care of that. Now, if you sit around here like these women and start acting silly and start acting foolish, then you're going to have a rebellion. And then you know the brother's going to be overpowering you and suppressing you. And you ain't going to like that. So when you step up, you're a goddess. Be a goddess. Take your responsibility. Because if you want a tyrant, you'll get one. If you want to be oppressed, you will get one. You'll be oppressed. Because once we set you up, sisters, you'll be totally independent. And nobody's going to bother you. And especially me, whether I'm a hermit or not, I'll always be your protector. I'll always be watching over the sisters. But they see me and I'll always be watching. I'll always be your protector. So ain't nobody going to F with you. People messing with you, that those days are over. Those days are over. I'll always. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about. Always be watching. Now, if you take and abuse that and you want to go out there, and I mean, I know this ain't going to happen, but you want to go out there like these skanks, demon and devil skanks, they got their clothes all off because they have no natural beauty. They can't compete with your beauty. So they show their nakedness trying to attract you. It's so something with their skanky ass. But somehow something craziness get in your head, you start to act like I know you're not. Then you're going to get the consequence of that. Now, we know that's not going to happen, so I shouldn't even talk about it. But if you want a tyrant to tell you what to do, once you know, because once we're part of one body, I keep telling you we're part of one body. So the head knows what to do, the brain cells know what to do, the eye cells know, the foot cells, everybody knows what to do because it's part of the body. So nobody has to tell it what to do. I have to tell my heart what to do. I don't have to tell my lungs what to do. But now if you start going crazy and now you won't do what you want somebody to tell you what to do, then you'll get a tyrant. You'll get it if that's what you want. But right now you don't have that. You should never have that ever. Because you're going back as gods, not angels. Angels under command of gods. God's not under command of anybody. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. You should know what to do. You're God. So therefore, you're going to take care of your business. But you understand, you're serving the body. So the better you take care of your business, the better my heart works, the better my body works. If my heart starts failing, it takes down the whole body. The better my lungs work, the better my whole body works. My lungs start failing, it takes down the whole body. See, so once you understand that, then you're going to do what you're supposed to do 100% because you know we all work together. You're going to take, if you're a lung cell, you're going to be the best lung cell in the world. Your heart cell will be the best heart cell in the world because you know you keep that going, everything else, and everybody keep that thing going, then you're in total, control. Hope you understand, brother and sister. I think I'm going to leave it there. Hope you understand. Armageddon is with a blink of an eye away. Man, if I'm going to pull that plug, when you pull that plug, everything's going to change, brother and sister. It's not going to be the same anymore. And all these people running around here, they think they got it going on. Hiding under Satan's protection because they raise, they shake their ass and everything. They talk, and all this BS because they got what they call freedom of speech and all this. They think they got under Satan's protection. As soon as that plug is pulled, they won't have any of that anymore. And then they're in our reality then. They're in our reality then. So we see what kind of conversation they have then. That's the judgment, brothers and sisters. Like I said, you sisters out there, your original sisters, you don't worry about no judgment. You already had your judgment for 500 years, fighting your ass off with this devil because you's a warrior. So you don't worry about no judgment. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to sit in judgment of you. I'm telling you, I'm not going to let that happen. Like I told you, I'm your defender. I'll always be your defender. Don't tell me, because people that know me say, man, why? All the trouble you've had with women over the years? Yeah, I have trouble with women. Some of it justified. I understand these sisters out here, they're angry, they're mad. I understand that. They should be. Hell, I ain't did anything for them. They should be. I'm telling the truth now. I'm putting the truth out there. But I was doing things before Master Muhammad showed up, before Elijah showed up. They're angry. They mad. I ain't talking these demons. I told these demons, them the worst ones. But they eased up, a bunch of eased up on me. But everybody tell me, man, all the trouble you don't have with females. But most of my trouble with females just goes who I am. Because I was always focused on the message. I didn't go looking for a perfect wife or perfect female. I was always focused on the message. Then the female approached me. And usually I'm so busy, I just go along with the program. I know I'm married and everything else. You know, I don't examine, I don't check. I just, because I'm so busy focused on this message. So that was my fault. I'm not going to blame it for that. I ended up with a demon. I didn't realize it was a demon until it was too damn late. Now I'm stuck with a demon. So that was on me. Because I was totally 100% focused on this program. I never was focused on looking for a wife or looking for a spouse or anything. I never concerned. I was just, I'm a man. I had natural desires, right? Natural needs and everything else. But my primary focus was this program in this mesh of the cross. See? And so I never took and put any energy into looking into who's my future wife and whether you good woman, not good woman. I never looked at all that. I just said, if you're interested in me, then and you had 3 heads and you wasn't the devil, then I guess it's okay. I was stupid on that. You don't know me, Bill and Scissor, boy. Ooh, people thought I was just totally ignorant, totally stupid, just some kind of what they call it, weirdo, or what they call it, the word they use, right? I was just weird, according to them. I'm studying, they hanging out, they partying, I'm hanging out. They hanging out. I'm going to study. I'm going to libraries. I'm 12, 13 years old. Hanging in libraries, they're hanging out. Right? They were out there chasing the girls. I wasn't chasing the girls. Some girls chased me. I wasn't chasing the girls. I wasn't in their interest in that. I did love girls. I do love women. I ain't tell you, I love women. Right? That wasn't my focus. Right? It's just like, I guess if you like diamonds, right? But you don't go and check, with a Sporgazi or whatever, with a false fake diamond. But you love diamonds and you got one looks like a diamond, so Sporgazi, I guess they call it. Yeah, I love women. They ain't gonna ever change. I love my sisters. I love them on every level you can think of. Intimate level, intellectual level, beauty level, every level. I love my sisters. And right now, I'm your champion. I'm not gonna sit in judgment of you, so I ain't even worry about. I ain't think about it. Your key to hereafter is already determined. You're in the book of life. Don't worry about all the sisters out there, original sisters. They're standing up, right? Yeah, I'm not sitting judgment. Your name's in the book of life. It's already there. It's not going out unless you pull it out by doing something really stupid, like being total. Um, what's the word? Rebellious or whatever. But your name is in there. All the sisters, your name is in there. Original sisters, your name is in there. You don't have to do nothing to worry about. You're producing these gods. You're producing gods and goddesses. What do we want? You. And you know what? We're only here because of you. But you brothers, that's a whole different story. You got to go through judgment. We got to check you out. The sisters is not a danger. They don't even have to be pure gold. See? Because they don't carry the seed. It's the seed that we're concerned about. And you carry the seed. We have to make sure that seed is pure, 100% gold. Like I say, it'd be some demon women, they're going to make it in. Some even devil women might even make it in. But they won't make it in. They come in, we're not going to examine them that closely. If they showing they can do everything that they're supposed to do and not causing any trouble, they may ease their way in. But they won't ease in as inheritors. They'll be in as they'll be your servants, brothers and sisters. They'll be your servants. They will not come in and inherit. They will come in as your servants if they're getting it all. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover here. We're going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.